My name's Misty. I'm proud.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
So cringe.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I'm sorry. I was not for you in the beginning.
Uh-oh.
But my son told me
I
sounded ignorant and I needed to educate myself on you. So I took the challenge on.
Jesus.
And I'm proud to say that I'm voting for you for again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
What is this? This is like the audition process for the remake of Deliverance. The 1890s comment, dude, okay? Forget, there's still slavery, by the way, in Florida in the 1890s. In the sugarcane processing, they still had slaves working in the 1890s. They had Jim Crow and vagrancy laws everywhere else. Women couldn't vote. Women were beaten and raped by their husbands with impunity. They had no rights or recourse whatsoever. Certainly, LGBTQ people were hidden and, probably fearing for their lives and reputation if anybody found out. The world was not good. There was no minimum wage protection. There were no workplace safety laws. Children were abused as labor. But Trump is in the 1890s, it was good because of tariffs. How dumb is this guy?
We're going to be doing a lot of things, but we're lowering taxes. We're going to use tariffs very, very wisely. Our country in the 1890s was probably, Marcia, the wealthiest it ever was because it was a system of tariffs. And we had a president, McKinley, right? You remember Mount McKinley, and then they changed the name. But
remember Mount McKinley?
Was really a very good businessman, and he took in billions of dollars at the time, which today it's always trillions, but then it was billions and probably hundreds of millions. But we were a very wealthy country.
Dude, what? I just don't know how to process how fucking stupid this guy is. It is hard to quantify how fucking dumb, ignorant, unaware, you know what I'm saying? It is offensive to me to look at somebody that fucking stupid, that unaware, that ignorant of the operation of our entire government and or society. And yet this guy is a credible candidate for president in America. What the fuck are we doing, America? My garbage man could do a better job as a president than this dumb motherfucker who has literally just failed upward over and over and over again because he came into the world with a $400 million gift card from his dad, bro. Dude, he is so fucking dumb.
My team and I broke up a heroin trafficking ring in the Bay Area with ties to Mexican cartels. We took down a gang working with the Sinaloa cartel to traffic methamphetamine into the United States. It was 10 years ago that I brought a bipartisan group of American attorneys general and led that group to travel to Mexico City to meet with Mexican attorneys general to address this issue, and in particular, to increase intelligence sharing on gang activity, all of which allowed us to prosecute more human traffickers. And I started, as Attorney General, the first comprehensive report in the state of California analyzing transnational criminal organizations and the threats they pose.
Dude, she has so much experience at defending the border, handling these issues in a large scale, real world scope. And then you look at her opponent, Mr. Donald Trump, and he didn't know shit, bro. He couldn't even get a border bill through Congress. He couldn't even get his wall built. Dude, he doesn't know anything about the border. He doesn't know anything about gangs. The only shit he knows about gangs, he reads in the Daily Mail UK. He's a dumb fucker with no experience who sits on his ass on a golf cart or on a couch somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, rage tweeting all day. And like this woman has actually been out there doing the work, man, doing
public
complicated
safety,
work,
and to the economy.
managing huge investigations.
So stopping transnational criminal organizations and strengthening our border is not new to me, and it is a long-standing priority of mine. I have done that work, and I will continue to treat it as a priority.
Done it for years,
Elected
bro.
President of the United States.
What actions will you take to ensure that our jobs stay in America so we can continue to build the best cars in the world here in Michigan?
So pretty much as we've been saying, and what I want to do is I want to be able to look, your business, years ago in this area, I was honored as the Man of the Year. It was maybe 20 years ago. Oh, and the fake news heard about it. They said, it never happened, it never happened. And I didn't know who it was. It was a group that honored me as Man of the Year. The fakers back there, see the fake news? But they said, oh, and they looked, and it, you know, they said it never happened, but I said, I swear to you, it happened.
Dude.
It did happen. I was Man of the Year. And I came and I made a speech, and I said, why do you allow them to take your car business away? Why do you allow it to happen? They're taking your business away. And I didn't know too much about it. All I know is they were taking your car industry away from you. They said it never happened. And lo and behold, somebody said, I remember the event, and then we found out, and we had everything. We got the awards, we had everything. It did happen, but I gave a speech which at the time was pretty controversial.
Dude, what the fuck is he talking about? Bro! Oh my God, dude. Again, I don't even know how to process that. How do we process that? He's the guy who calls Kamala Harris low IQ. This guy is walking around calling the former Attorney General of California, the woman with the law degree, brilliant senator that we watch skewer heads of state in Senate hearings, that we watched eviscerate him on stage while he was crying about, fake animal eating stories. Cognitive sewage is a great term.
But we had the greatest economy, the greatest employment for everybody, men, women, African American, Hispanic American,
employment is better
Asian
now.
American, everybody. Young people with a diploma, without a diploma, people that went to the best schools in the world, got
Real
PhDs.
wages are up.
Every single class, without exception, was the best they've ever been. And we're going to get
Every single class was the best they've ever been, right up until he bungled the pandemic and 35,000 people a month were dying, and he was talking about shining a light in the
that
body.
back and then some. So we're going to bring a lot of companies
Sure,
in.
Donnie.
And we're going to have a lot of jobs, and you're going to have a lot of jobs to choose from, okay?
All right, so he said they're going to bring a lot of companies in, going to have a lot of jobs. You're going to have a lot of jobs to choose from. And how is he going to do this? We don't know, but it's going to have something to do with tariffs. Deidre, I'm with you. I am so with you. He's so irritable because he's such a disaster. And he is allowed to walk around being incompetent, immoral, with no leadership skills, no abilities to manage large, complicated situations. And all he does is get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. He gets access to wealth and power when he's inept and undeserving in every possible way. I know Republicans like to talk about DEI as though that means somebody's underqualified, but there is not a human being I have seen in recent memory that is more of a DEI nepo baby, undeserving, failing upward piece of fucking trash than this clown in an Uncle Sam suit right here. And he gets rewarded with nearly unlimited access to wealth and power. And he doesn't deserve any of it. He's not good at any of the shit he does. He's not good. He's a bumbling fucking buffoon. And it's hard. It's hard because I'm raising a 19-year-old kid right now in the world. And my 19-year-old kid, I don't know what to tell him. It's like you want to tell him, yeah, you got to work hard and you got to apply yourself and you got to be, you got to be competent and make sure you're one of the best. But it's like, no, you don't. You can be a total loser who can't even answer a goddamn question, who's more ignorant than somebody who's had 18 shots of fucking Goldschlager, and you literally can be running for president, you know, like this turd. It's depressing, really. Right? When you think about it,
Thank you.
I don't even know what to teach my kid anymore, bro.
But it's your colleagues in your party, sir, who torpedoed this, who didn't get the facts right on what you just outlined was in that measure. They killed it. Ironically, not Democrats.
Right. It was, and it was painful to be able to watch it. It got stirred up in all the presidential politics, and several of my colleagues started looking for ways. After President Trump said, don't fix anything during the presidential election. It's the single biggest issue during the election. Don't resolve this. We'll resolve it next year. Quite a few of my colleagues backed up, looked for a reason to be able to shoot against it, and then walked away. I get that. That's a decision everybody makes in it. My issue is if we're pursuing everything, we very often end up with nothing. If we're pursuing someone coming later to fix it, later seems to never come. When we have a moment to fix things, we should fix as many things as we can then come back later and fix the rest.
That's on Donald Trump, Senator.
That is our situation there. We had something to help the border. There was legislation crafted by both sides working together. Was it the fix-all? No. But it was a goddamn start, and it would have been both sides getting together and doing something to help the border, to help the country. And Trump made sure those people turned on their own bill just so he could try to use the border as a big deal to run on. Now that is just high-level smarm. That's untrustworthy. Somebody who does that doesn't even deserve the office of president. Somebody who will take both sides working together and have them kill important legislation just to try and create a circumstance that you can exploit to get into office. You don't even deserve to be president. You're a coward. You can't help the border get fixed and become president? Really? You have to trash your own country in order to become president? If you have any nuts at all and any capability to be a good president, you don't have to start a fire to be the fireman, you know?
And let me be clear. I reject the false choice. I reject the false choice that suggests we must either choose between securing our border or creating a system of immigration that is safe, orderly, and humane.
Yeah.
We can and we must do both.
Yes, absolutely. They go hand in hand.
In the 4 years that Donald Trump was president, he did nothing to fix our broken immigration system.
He did nothing.
He did not solve the shortage of immigration judges. He did not solve the shortage of border agents. He did not
He didn't even get a bill
lawful
passed.
pathways into our nation. He did nothing to address an outdated asylum system and did not work with other governments in our hemisphere to deal with what clearly is also a regional challenge.
Yeah, because Donald Trump doesn't work well with others. He
As
screams
overdoses went up
tariffs!
during his presidency, he fought to slash funding for the fight against fentanyl.
Trumpy.
And
you
what did he do
fucking dumb
instead?
fucker.
Well, let's talk about that. He separated families. He ripped toddlers out of their mother's arms, put children in cages.
The separation of the families and removing people's kids that Trump did, that shit is so out of pocket. What his administration was doing. Can you imagine going somewhere to seek a better life and they just take your kid away and you never see your kid again? That is so trauma-inducing. That is one of literally the worst kind of energy you could put into the planet possible.
And he is still fanning the flames of fear and division.
Yeah, still.
And let me be clear, that is not the work of a leader.
It's not.
That is not the work of a leader. And that is, in fact, I think we all believe, an abdication of leadership.
Oh, she's f***ing calling his ass out, bro. Holy shit.
And so on behalf of all across our nation who want to see these problems solved, I say we cannot accept Donald Trump's failure to lead. We should not permit scapegoating instead of solutions, or rhetoric instead of results. As your president, I will protect our nation's sovereignty, secure our border, and work to fix our broken system of immigration. And I will partner with Democrats, Republicans, and independents to do it.
Yeah. See, I think that's big. This idea of partnering. Like, enough with the, Republicans and Democrats can't work together. 38 days, guys. Can you believe it? 38 days. We have a month and a week. And this shit is over, bro. And what's America gonna do? Are we gonna make the right choice? Are we gonna avoid numbnuts? Or what? Dude, I'm nervous. I mean, there's a part of me that is you know what? Kamala's winning this. We're winning this. We're bringing this home. We're gonna reject this bullshit Trumpism. We're gonna reject all this negativity, this constant stream of harassment of people of color, anti-woman, anti-gay, anti-everything but negative white Christian bitches. So there's a part of me that's just that shit. We are going to reject all that uniformly. We are going to reject that bullshit. That's what I believe. And I remember 2016. I remember thinking we were going to reject it the first time. Although, to be fair, nobody knew what a Trump presidency would look like at that point because we hadn't experienced it. Nobody knew how low that guy could stoop, and nobody knew what 4 years of chaos was like, although we should have known. I mean, you see the guy, you see the way the asshole behaves on Twitter, right? We should have known. Now we know. Now we know. No excuses. But I guess I'm nervous because there's a huge segment of the American population that I don't have any faith in. You know, there's a good chunk of the American people that I just don't have faith in because I feel like they make stupid ass decisions.